Like
by chapter 1, do you mean the naked guy in the woods chapter 1?
Yeah.
Or
So
anything after that?
So
Because I
by
think it says end of chapter once you finish that first portion.
Yeah. So I finished where you go to the morgue, like after the morgue.
Yeah. Don't say
that's-
anything too specific, but yeah, that's where you stopped playing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only reason I brought that up is because Detective Breaker is Sean Ashmore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw it when he showed up. I'm like, is that fucking Iceman? What are you doing here?
I didn't see it until they were in the morgue. I was like, wait a second, that's Sean Ashmore.
Yeah. Which I am assuming. I don't know if Dom would have. Well, Dom may have gotten to this point already. Mike definitely hasn't, and Todd definitely has. There's another character that probably would have been played by a different actor if they were still alive.
Okay, Lance Reddick.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything about the character in the game, but yeah, Lance Reddick probably would have reprised his role from Quantum Break, because that's where Sean Ashmore's character is being tied in.
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that Lance Reddick was in this game because I thought they made the talk show guy look a lot like him.
I think they definitely purposely cast that actor because he does share some physical like similarities with Lance Reddick. That probably was going to be Lance Reddick.
Is it the same talk show host as the first game?
No.
Oh yeah.
No, the first game I think Alan Wake 1 I think is like a white guy talk show. It's a different talk show name too.
I just assumed that it was the same. Like I didn't really dive into it too much, but I just assumed it was the same talk show because he's been stuck for 13 years.
No, the I forget. It's like a different talk show too in the first game. Let me see real quick what his. So I didn't read into this, but I think part of the reason why Sean Ashmore's character
Harry Garrett show.
Yeah. So I think part of the reason why Sean Ashmore's character has a different name, but still as it's like a reference to Quantum Break, is because I think Microsoft technically owns the Quantum Break IP, so they had to change names because Lance Reddick's character in Quantum Break is Mr. Hatch, and his character's name or who is probably supposed to be the same character in Alan Wake 2 is Mr. Door. So, I mean, you got Tim Breaker, Mr. Door. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I wouldn't say that's spoilers for Alan Wake 2.
Lance Reddick does show up in Control, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
What was his name in that?
Mike would probably know better than us on the top of his head.
I don't remember.
Let me just IMDb
I believe him there. I'm trying to remember.
And according to IMDb, this can't be right. He's not even listed in the top cast. He's not listed at all.
Maybe there's just a reference to him.
Yeah, I mean, I believe he might have been there, but I'm trying to picture it, and I don't remember who he would have been.
Oh, he's Mr. Door in Control.
Okay. I wonder why they changed it then. Either way, anyways, we'll talk about Alan Wake a little bit more in a second. Welcome, everyone, to the Pass Control Podcast, a show where a couple of our best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we talk about Control too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week. As always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Sunday evening, ending the weekend for you, is the anime Michael Senpai himself, Desir. Michael Desir.
Great start.
Nailed it.
Great start.
Sorry, I'm time skipping.
Oh, of course.
Time slipping. Sorry.
Oh yeah, there was a show that also came out this week.
How are you doing, Mike?
I'm fine.
Also rounding us out tonight, of course, is the fucking Fortnite father, Todd Gary. Todd, how are you doing tonight?
Fortnite father? What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, just seeing what sticks.
So far, nothing.
And then...
What are you drinking? What are you drinking over there?
Drinking an Original Sin Black Widow cider. It's pretty good.
Shit.
A little bit sweeter than I usually like, but it's good. And rounding us out, of course, is the Disney daddy himself, Dominic 40. Dom, how are you doing tonight?
Apparently, Alex Casey is a rename for Max Payne.
Yes.
Because Max Payne is owned by
Rockstar, maybe?
Rockstar.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to talk too... I don't know. I don't think... If you're interested in Alan Wake 2, I think you know that for the most part, unless you're just playing Alan Wake 1 and 2, I think you know for the most part that these games are all in a larger universe that are connected now. No? Is that not a common...
Pretty early on in the game, you find the Bureau of Control, like, in one of the first missions of Alan Wake.
Yeah.
2.
Oh no, it's right at the beginning. Like it's very heavy-handed. That like, hey, this stuff is in this game.
It's all connected.
But I mean, I don't know if like it's common knowledge if some of these characters are showing up in some form.
I don't know. There was Alan Wake DLC for fucking Control.
Yeah,
That's true.
and I can't really speak on anything because I'm pretty fucking fire right now in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's me and Brenden talked about this a while ago when he's like, "Did you see what was on the fence?" And I'm like, "Oh, so we were like started like spiraling like down like, oh shit, are they connecting all this shit now?"
Like,
and,
I have some interesting theories. That's also the other reason why I want the two of you to catch up.
Well, it's so funny because where I'm at right now with Saga, like I'm like, oh, I know exactly what's going on, and you guys will like eventually get there. But with Wake, I have no fucking clue what's going on because I've barely played Wake, so like I don't even know.
It's real good. I mean, I've put in about 6 hours at this point. As long as the story continues what it's doing for me, like this is easily gonna land itself as a top game for me of this year. Like it will still probably be in my top 10 regardless, even if late game is not doing it for me. But I don't expect it to be that way, and I'm like really, really happy that I decided to play it because it's hitting real fucking good for me. But before we continue to talk a little bit more about Alan Wake, a couple of quick housekeeping things. This episode 393, is of course sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, you want yourself something hot, sweet, tasty, fresh out of the oven, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. And if you're unaware of what a fatty is, you can check them out on social media at Goodnight Fatty or at Good Morning Chubby, and you will not be disappointed, I promise. If you do head down, let them know Past the Controller sent you. Other quick housekeeping things. The PTC Movie Club for November is Todd's pick, and it is They Live. I think we figured out where it's streaming. Do we have a streaming
I think it's
platform?
Peacock, right?
I don't remember what we said.
It was definitely someplace.
Okay. All right. Mike
believe it's Peacock.
said Google it yourself, you fuckers. I don't know why he's that aggressive,
much.
but there he is.
I'm always that aggressive.
So we're going to talk about They Live at the end of the month, again with Thanksgiving being a holiday that will disrupt our schedule most likely. I'm not exactly sure when we'll record that episode, but it will either be, last one of the month or very close to the end of the month or right after the end of the month. So just look for that to be somewhere towards the end of November. I think that's all we really got for housekeeping at this point. We can just kind of roll right back in. Has anyone been playing anything else besides Alan Wake before we just kind of hop back in the Alan Wake train for a few minutes?
I beat Jusant.
What'd you think of it? Because I also finished it.
I mean, it's all right.
I don't know. I liked the gameplay mechanic.
Yeah.
There just wasn't enough for me.
Were you like searching for like the notes and stuff and reading everything or no?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get all the notes, but
Okay.
I mean, I was doing side stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like you got to kind of, I think, want it or not want it, and it's definitely not going to resonate for everyone. I kind of liked the story that was being told through the notes and stuff, but outside of that, it's really just, you're exploring and climbing, which I thought once you get a hold of the gameplay rhythm, I liked the climbing aspect. I thought it worked really well. There were a few times where it was like, I feel like I am trying to grab this ledge. It is not letting me grab this ledge, even though it is a grabbable thing. And then I'd have to like climb away a little bit and then climb back to hit it. It was just like weird, like just the collision not working properly. But it didn't happen often. Anyone else playing anything other than Alan Wake 2?
Yep, you just gotta jump back on fucking Population 1, baby, because I'm putting in like 2 hours a day on Population 1 right now. That's my multiplayer game. That's fucking all I'm playing for.
Get Mike on. I'll play.
So I'll carry you guys. I'm like no joke. I'll like be playing with my team. I'll drop by myself. I'll be like wiping teams out. I have like 10 to like 12 kills almost every
Why
game.
can't
now.
you do that in Fortnite?
Oh,
I mean,
it's different.
you do drop by yourself and run around by yourself. You just don't get the kills or do anything. Why can't you do that in Fortnite?
I'm just so good with those SMGs and the reloading that these guys don't even know what the fuck to do. They just like run at me and can't fucking do anything.
Population 1, Todd's Game of the Year 2023. There you go. You heard it. You heard it right
I'm
here.
running.
Someone has to go bat for it.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying someone has to go to bat for it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Did we talk about Jusant last week? We did, right? Am I losing my mind?
I think it came up in some capacity somewhere because this is not the first time I've heard the title of the game. I still don't know what it is, but this is not the first time I've heard about it.
You climb.
You climb.
Oh, interesting.
Because I'm trying to think of if I brought up other stuff I was playing last week or not. So I got a game called Fashion Dreamer. Did we talk about this on the podcast?
That I don't remember.
It's fine.
I don't remember.
It's so there's a series of fashion games that were on the DS that were described to me as like fashion RPGs, and this was supposed to be like a spiritual successor. And I was like, all right, I'll bite. Like I'll see what it's about. I'll take a peek, and it's not bad. It's fine. I'm enjoying my time with it, but it is definitely going to be one of those things that like once I stop playing it, I will probably never go back to it. Like there will not be longevity there for me. I will say though, I've been playing a lot in bed, and not that it's like necessarily I would call a deep fashion game, but Jen is into fashion and style, and she'll look over and be like, "You're fucking awful at this. Let me fucking get in there and fucking make this look better for you." So it's been fun because she's like jumped in to be like, "You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Let me dress this person for you, whatever."
Is she doing well?
Yeah, she's getting 3 hearts when she jumps in. I'm not always getting 3 hearts, so basically like there's not a lot in the game, so I can see why this might not be. It's a weird game for me to recommend. I also don't think I'm the maybe the typical person that would be picking this type of game up. But there's not a lot to do so far. Like there's stuff to do, but not a lot. It's essentially you walk around this hub world that is populated by NPCs in the game, but also if you connect to the internet, it's populated by other people playing the game, and you basically go up to them and you can take their outfits if you're yourself, so add them to your wardrobe, which also would include stuff that people can make, because part of the game is also like you make your own fashion brand and you design clothes, and then you have like a showroom that like other people online can go into, and if they like your clothes they can also take them home for their wardrobe. So it's a mix of taking people's clothes, liking people's clothes so they get like recognition and other like rewards in the game, but also for the NPCs and for the online players it works a little bit differently, but it's the same thing. It's basically like, oh, this person, these are their likes. So like dress them based off of the wardrobe that you own inventory in your game and fit it into like their criteria of like, this is their favorite color, or they like this type of thing, or whatever it may be, and like try to dress them. And you get graded based on how well you fit into their criteria. So there's that whole aspect it's designing clothes and growing that inside your catalog or whatever. It's interesting. It's fun. It's a good wind down game for me at the end of the night, but definitely going to be one of those things that, probably won't grab me for a long time. I think if there was a little bit more there, I probably could find myself in like an Animal Crossing loophole of like, this is my go to bed at night, like, put an hour in, get my stuff good and whatever. I don't think it'll keep me for that long, but I'm enjoying it for what it is for now.
Speaking of Animal Crossing, can you believe they abandoned that game?
No fucking DLC.
Damn it. Fucking that's Todd's activation word, Animal Crossing.
It really is.
Todd's activation words are Animal Crossing, Overwatch, and the thing we're going to talk about after Alan Wake, which is the fucking MCU.
Are talking about Pokemon?
Oh shit, no, not Pokemon.
You have 4.
This is not a Pokemon podcast tonight.
Good God.
And the other
But
thing,
it could be.
the other thing that So I didn't make, but like Jen wanted to play a game last night, which she normally doesn't want to do. So we went over a few options and we decided on Florence because it's like a very quick game. I don't know. Florence is still a good game. I like that game a lot. I don't know. Has anyone else here played it? I feel like Dom probably has.
I have.
Todd, you not played it?
I have not. No.
And I'm just gonna assume Mike's never played it.
Definitely didn't.
You like it, Dom, or no?
Yeah, I like most of their little story games.
Yeah. So it's really good. You'd probably like it, Todd. It's like probably finish it in like 30 minutes. Like it's a very, very quick game. You can download it on Switch, but you can also download it on your phone and like play it.
Florence, I was literally just about to say Florence may have been a game that I played on my phone.
It was a game that I played on my phone.
Not on Xbox?
No. It's only, I think it's only on mobile, PC, and Switch. But it's
I think I beat Florence and Gorogoa on my phone.
Gorogoa would probably be another good phone game. I played Gorogoa on Switch. We played Florence on Switch last night. I bought it for it's like a couple of dollars. It's really not an expensive game, and you have to want to have that experience, but I personally like it. It's just a good little story about Florence. It's just good. It's a good story. But then we also went back to, so slowly throughout the year, I've been playing a game called The Case of the Golden Idol, which if you want a good like mystery, it's like a murder mystery puzzle game. It is fucking phenomenal. It's not new this year. It's new to the Switch this year, which is how I'm playing it. I think it was PC only last year. But this is like, if you want murder mystery puzzle game, fucking top tier. Like it is so good, and it's a single player game, but I've been primarily only playing it with Jen because it's like a good, we're trying to figure this fucking thing out together thing. Which is just, I think it can be a good fun co-op game that way. But it's essentially like you get placed into this usually a multi-screen area. So it'll be like, you're in one room, you can go to different rooms and like examine clues and notes, letters, people, and like between all of these things, you need to figure out, basically, like you'll have a separate board where it's like it'll list the characters' faces and you have to like figure out who is who, because it won't be so overtly easy of like, this is this person and this is this person. You have to figure that part out. Then you have to figure out like what happened in the scene. So it'll be like, this person killed this person because they wanted this. They killed them with this, in order to do this and this. And it's not just like a straightforward thing. There's a lot of fucking hijinks that are going on. And there'll be other aspects for different chapters of it too, where it's like the one we did last night was, and it all circles back into solving the main mystery of the chapter. We had to figure out all of the characters' names and who they were. And some of it is like a long going story. So there'll be like some characters that appear again. So you'll be like, oh, that's this person. And that makes it easy to like at least lock that person in. But the thing that we did last night, it was a dinner party where someone got poisoned. So we had to figure out where everyone was sitting at the table, figure out whose jackets were downstairs on the like coat rack, to like figure out like, oh, there's this in this person's pocket. Whose fucking jacket is this? Then like on the other side of the house, there were 4 different bedrooms, plus a hidden room and a study, and all those things we had to figure out like whose bedroom is whose for the like maids and servants that worked there, and figure out if they were part of the motive to kill the person or if there was an outside person, like all these things going on. And as we've gotten deeper into the games, I think we're on like the 3rd arc. I don't know how many total arcs there are. There's like a lot deeper things that are going on, kind of as a broader stroke of the story. It's really good. If you like that type of trying to figure shit out, it's really good. It can be difficult. We were stuck for a long time last night on a specific thing that we had backwards, and it like was fucking unraveling us. But such a fucking good game. Like highly recommend. It's on PC and Switch. It's definitely one to look at if that sounds like your jam.
Pentiment?
It's different than Pentiment. Like Pentiment is, I feel like, a little more, I don't want to say straightforward, but like Pentiment's more of like a kind of, it has similarities. Pentiment's
I
more
want
of like
another
a
game
point
like-
and click adventure, whereas like this
I
is
want
not
another
that.
game like Pentiment that's set in like a more recent timeline kind of thing. I want those guys to make like another game like that.
Yeah. But it works so well in that like era.
It does.
Like
No, it does.
that
It was
story.
great.
It works
But
so well.
I just kind of want like another one, like not like a cyberpunky, but like maybe
Yeah.
even a futuristic kind of one.
It definitely has similarities to Pentiment, but it's a very like you're not moving around. You're just like observing these scenes and trying to figure out what happened. Highly recommend it. But back to Alan Wake 2. I know we've been like scatterbrained talking about Alan Wake 2 throughout the whole intro. We'll aside from mentioning that there are some crossover characters, we'll be rather spoiler free. Where is everyone's like take with the game so far? I mean, I've obviously said it's like a very high on my list. I'm very, very much enjoying it. Michael, as the resident fucking Remedy guy, you've barely played it. I'm surprised.
Yes, I barely played it, so therefore I'm going to abstain from any judgment because I haven't done anything yet.
Wait till he gets to some of the, like the fucking jump scares and shit. Like,
has the game scared you at all?
I
mean, he's definitely gotten to jump scares in the game at the point he's at.
No, I'm talking about you haven't even gotten to like some of these fucking jump scares.
Oh, I've gotten to some stuff that's fucking fucked me up.
There were like two jump scares. There's one at the very beginning when you first start playing.
Yes.
Which, number one, sidebar, this is not a critique of the game or anything, it's just that part of the reason why I stopped playing the first time was because I was trying to figure out how to get my controller to work with the games I bought on a PC. And I had a controller plugged in. The game starts in a way where like it kind of transitions from a cinematic to being playable. And I'm standing there like, oh, it's supposed to be me going, right? And my controller wasn't letting me move. Because I don't know, it didn't pair right or whatever. So like some of the buttons worked on the controller, but everything else I had to use the keyboard for. And I got frustrated, so I just gave up on it. But yeah, there's a jump scare at that point someplace. And then I think there's a jump scare near the end of that chapter where I had stopped.
Yes.
And yeah, again, it seems like your typical Remedy kind of thing. And I don't know how to perfectly describe that, but I mean, if you played a couple Remedy games, you'll start seeing some sort of similarities between gameplay mechanics. So it's doing that. I'll play the game. I'll probably like the story. I'll probably vibe with the gameplay mechanics in terms of how you, I don't know, shoot things maybe. And
got a flashlight.
Flashlight's key. At least it was before. Light is still clearly a thing here, but I don't know what's actually happening, so I don't want to speak too far out of turn.
Yeah, you'll see, Mike. You'll see. I am curious. Also, the deeper you get in to see, because I think it would be safe to say you and I both don't typically like things of the horror nature or scary things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are fucked. You're not gonna like
this game. Like everybody, very much lied to us, Mike. You're
not gonna like Saga's. You're not gonna like Saga's missions.
It has scary moments, and like I think, based off of the jump scares that you have already experienced in the game so far, that type of stuff does happen throughout the game, at least to the points that I'm at. And sometimes it's less of those happening, and it's I'm playing the game and I'm on edge because I am expecting that to happen. And then maybe it doesn't happen when you expect it to, and then it fucking happens at a different point, and it like just fucking gets me every time.
I have the headphones on loud too when I'm playing it too, so it's like in your face kind of.
That's foolish.
I usually play everything, including this podcast, one headphone off so I can like hear the house, and the other on so I can fully hear. I've been playing Alan Wake 2 with both on, which is not normal for me in most games. Two reasons. One, the sound design and music is really fucking good. And two, the sound design and music is so good, and I fucking hate the game for being that good about it. Because it really does kind of just set the tone of like what this game is. And you're very quickly, Mike, going to get to some points where it's like very immersive with its sound design matching the tone of what you're doing in that game. Like the next steps for what you're doing in that game is going to be like the wind fucking brushing through the fucking leaves is gonna sound real good and great, and you're gonna be like, I fucking wish it didn't sound that good and great because I don't want to be in the woods right now. It's really good. Like the visuals in this game are.
You're gonna wish you were back in the woods, all right? Just fucking, I can't wait for you to just shit your pants right.
It's really
No, this
fucking
game.
good.
This
It's
game's
really
like
good.
I'm usually kind of bitching and moaning about a lot of survival horror games because it's very few games that scare me. I think Dead Space was one of those games that like got me once or twice. I will say this game got me so good a couple nights ago that like my whole body jolted. Like I was like legit playing the game, and I was like, and then it happened again a few minutes after. And I'm like, God damn it, stop this shit. You know
And
what I'm saying?
when Todd is getting hit that way, Mike, you know we are fucked. Like, you know we're fucked. I'm going to scroll back to my text message to Todd the night that this happened. Because there was... Okay. What did I say? What did I say?
You're like, you lied to me. something about lying about this game.
Oh yeah, there
You
was.
lied to
It's not
me.
a spoiler. It's really nothing. But at some point soon, you might have either already had it happen to you, Mike, or it's very soon. There's just a very passing piece of dialogue from one of the characters, and he just says, "Oh, it's all about control, isn't it?" And I'm just like, I laughed really
Oh,
hard because it's
I
like,
think I did hear that line. I was like, oh, you guys, what are you guys doing?
Um,
go ahead,
I'll
Todd.
say this. I just I was talking to Brendan about this. A couple things. First thing is that I don't know if Dom, have you had instances where like you're just kind of getting lost and don't know where to go at some points in like the confined maps? Because I feel like I've had that. It's not a game
Yes.
problem. It's like because it all works itself out and you can follow the map pretty good, but
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Is like there's been a few times where I've like gotten to I've gone down a road and I've been like, this is not where I meant to go, and I
yes,
like
yeah,
check the
yeah,
map
yeah.
and I've been able to get myself right back.
Yeah, same. So there's never been a point where I've been stuck. But me and Brendan were talking about a couple days ago how like this game is so good because it's like every Remedy game, they take what they learned from older games and incorporate it into the new game. And like this just seems like a culmination of all the games they've made come together like very cohesively.
Mm-hmm.
Like Quantum Break, they wanted to do the live action, but like they couldn't make it work. They made it into like 30. This game does like in between, like some live action, some of this other stuff. The
But
powers from
to
Control.
be fair, Alan Wake also had some of
Yeah,
the
no,
live
definitely.
action.
Yeah. I always forget that Alan Wake had those, but yeah, but it's just, and even Control had it too. Like in a lot of. Did you play Control? You played Control, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
our
yeah, I
game
gotta
of the year
replay it,
that
though.
year. We all played it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think that's the only time we've all played a game of the year it came out.
Might be the first. That might be the first time Mike has been like, "Hey, I really like this game. You should play that game." And I've been like, "All right, Mike recommended. I gotta play the game."
I think I also played it after Mike. Yeah. I must have said it to you on the phone because I can't find the text message. I must have said it to like Jesse or someone in Discord in a Discord message. But the night that it happened, you were getting close to it, Mike. There was like Alan Wake 1, different era. They probably made that game a little more actiony just because that's what games were more like back then. Where like this is very clearly like they're doing something tonally different, which I think works better. And at least so far early on, there's not a lot of combat, Mike.
I think it's like the perfect balance from where I've been at. I'm a little over halfway through this game, and I think that it's consistently like I never feel like there's too much. I never feel like there's not enough. I feel like it's perfectly placed.
When I am actively trying to avoid combat, if possible, because of like ammunition conservation or because I don't want to be fucking scared, I think that you're doing it right. But there's like an enemy that makes themselves present that I was in no way expecting or ready for. And the way that I got caught off guard by that, it literally felt like someone punched me in the fucking chest. Like I went back in my chair and like I jerked back so hard my shoulder hurt. I was like, what the fuck? I can, because you've passed it, Dom. I can tell you after. I won't say it here because I don't want to.
I imagine that I know what you're talking about. I like don't have a good way.
I don't text me right now.
Should I take my headphones off? Do you want to say it out loud?
No, because I also like kind of want to preserve the game at this point for like people that haven't played it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't really have a good way of
I'll just text it to you.
questioning it.
Have you guys gotten any more weapons in the game? Because like the ways to get.
I wasn't expecting it at
He's
all. It just
He's
like
unimpressed.
Why? I thought you were talking about like the animal.
that also scared the shit out of me.
I was like more caught off guard because I was like, wait a second, now animals are attacking?
Yeah. And the way that it just like walks by in the light, like it just quickly, I was like, whoa.
Oh, that was like a great like a regular enemy fight. Like I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Because it just like takes off into the woods and you can just see its eyes like as it's like circling you.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think it was awesome. I was like, I don't have ammo for this.
Awesome.
I cannot fucking kill this thing. But it's really good. And like I would recommend if you're listening to this, we've been trying to stay as very like light on the game as possible, just because I think it's a game that's very, would benefit from not knowing a lot about some of the stuff that's going on. There's some stuff that like I did not really have spoiled for, and it like kind of roundabout spoiled for me, but it didn't hinder too much the experience. There's just like the game goes places, and I'm still early, and I'm hoping that it goes in even wackier places and deeper places.
The beginning of the game feels like Supernatural True Detective.
100%.
Yeah, the beginning of the game, like, go ahead, Ted.
I was gonna say mixed with what's it called? David Lynch.
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Yeah, when the guy's like, "Oh boy, I need my coffee," I'm like,
Yeah,
I haven't watched Twin Peaks yet, but
and
I'm pretty sure this is very Twin
at
Peaks.
the same time. Yeah.
They drink their coffee at the same time a lot. Is that a reference to that?
Todd, that was why I said what I said the other day to you.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I am curious if,
or one of the things at least,
more of that specific vibe is present in the Saga stuff. Which you don't have to answer that, Todd, but I'm
curious if they're different stories, like if they're like different genres.
Yeah,
almost.
I think the Alan stuff is a little tonally different from what the game starts off as.
Alan seems like more puzzly, where like Saga is more survival horror nonstop. Like Saga's like whole thing is like, from what I mean, you guys got like two huge like I got through like two like big parts. I want to talk about it so bad because like one part I did yesterday.
I mean, whenever
fucking one of my favorite things.
Whenever all four of us finish it, like this is gonna be prime for a separate like conversation about this game. I think. So I don't know. Whenever Mike decides to play Alan Wake 2, I guess.
Listen, I'm off. I am off. I think I'm off this Thursday and Friday, so maybe I'll like sit down and actually play it for realsies.
Yeah. Get a little more time in there because you still are pretty early. Like it's like starting to ramp up, but like once you start getting into Alan stuff, and you're getting more of the full picture of what the game is going to be. I think like its use of live action stuff while you're playing is fucking really good, and then just the segments that are live action are also really fucking good. And
wait, so for the Alan stuff, like, and obviously without going into spoiler territory, you did chapter 4, which we talked about, the one that we're like, oh, you got to get here.
I stopped after that. I have not played anymore. I haven't played anymore since then.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, Alan's chapter 4.
So good. Amanda was in the living room with me, and I had I'm putting the sound on because you like just need to watch this. Right
I need to find a clip of someone on YouTube who's played it. That's like a good representation of that, because I tried after I did it, I tried explaining it to Jen because I was like fucking floored, and it didn't matter. Like none of it like mattered, and I was like, you don't understand.
She said, "Come back to me. You have to dress the man."
I will say though, like, I'll probably one of the days next year for Halloween, I'm gonna throw an Alan together. It's an easy costume for me to pull off. Like I could easily do that.
Yeah, he looks just like my nephew. I think he could pull it off.
Fucking piece of shit, Mike. No, I'll take a book and I'll like print out an Alan Wake book cover and carry it around with a flashlight. There you go. Easy.
It's gonna be like this to everyone the whole time.
Yeah.
Hold it up. And have it so you can change the beam on the flashlight to like blind people's eyes.
The actors are so good in this game. Like the live action portions, the voice acting at points is not the best, but overall it's not bad. It's just like the live action stuff mixed in is fuck. Damn it. I don't want to play tonight because it's too late. It's too dark.
It's too dark. It's too scary. I don't want to play. Which this honestly just goes back to how I said whenever I was like, oh yeah, they should make a live action Control movie or TV show. I don't know how they would connect it to Alan Wake, because I don't know if it would be a case of we need to make separate things and pull like a whole
fucking play the game thing. I want to talk about something so bad, and it's like,
oh boy.
I mean, Mike,
it would be interesting if they made a TV show and it was its own entity, but it fit into the universe.
Yeah.
I feel like just based off of playing Quantum Break, Control, and now Alan Wake 2, they definitely really want to make a TV show. Like,
and they've got all these live. The problem is that they've got all these actors already doing the stuff for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Where if they were going to do a show or movie of any kind, it would make more sense to just get these guys rather than wait until they're, not off limits, but like either they're too old or they're too famous to be involved with it in any capacity.
Unless it's going to be its own thing, and then for some reason, Alan Lake shows up. You know what I mean? Sean Ashmore shows up.
Fucking Jake from Animorphs all over again.
It's really good. I wish I had more time this weekend to put into it, and I did not have any time this weekend. I barely played any games, but it's really good. It's real good. Looking forward to playing more of that. It's for me personally. It's like I don't want to say the sleeper hit for me of the year because it's not, but it's just a game that I did not personally intend on playing, and I'm happy I am.
If I manage to play it and beat in the next 3 weeks, it will just end up being my game of the year. So we can just cross that off now. I was like,
well, Mike, this is the one. You can sway the podcast. You have that power.
I'm not going to try and.
You'll be another.
I'm not going to try and fight you guys for fucking Tears of the Kingdom or Spider-Man or Todd. I don't know what the fuck you did, man. You definitely played something.
Every one of those and Phantom Liberty. Come on. Don't forget about
Cyberpunk.
Phantom
Liberty. Mike, you really want him to give it to fucking Cyberpunk? Come on now. Come on.
That game is fucking
I won't fight
right now. That's another game I want you guys to play because I feel like you'll have the same reaction to that game at this point that you will with Alan Wake.
Everybody everyone wants me to play fucking Cyberpunk.
You really should. It's and it's a game you can play over and over again and have so many different outcomes, and it's just it feels fresh.
I don't have time to fucking play Alan Wake. I have time to play Cyberpunk more than once. Come on, you silly guy. I gotta go build my fashion empire in Fashion Dreamer.
Yeah, right.
That'll bring us to our final topic of the evening, which is the MCU in a good place right now?
No.
Okay.
Right. Great talk, guys.
Easy enough to solve that.
Spoiler free, we'll talk a little bit about the Marvels, since Dom and I have seen it, and Mike has now seen it twice.
You saw it again?
He saw it today.
Yeah,
he said it's like the best movie he's ever seen.
Like, you're a big fan.
Mike literally walked out of the theater and texted me all caps,
and then walked right back in.
is back, baby.
Turned around and walked right back in and sat down for the next showing while they were cleaning.
We walked out of that theater, and we went to my car.
And there was another number on it.
Brenden goes, "Hey, Mike, did you get a ticket?" And no, someone left a slip of paper under my windshield wiper that had a phone number and said, "Text me." So that's what happened there.
We did talk about
somebody hit your car.
That's what we thought at first, but we inspected.
That's why I was like, "Yeah." I looked at my car. I'm like, "I don't see any damage or anything. Nothing. I didn't see any new damage." I did end up texting.
Yeah,
damage.
Yeah,
new damage.
No, that's
no nude damage.
That's why Mike.
Nude, yeah, they slapped their dong on my hood and at the imprint, and I was like, "Who did this?"
That's why Mike went to the movies again today, because he texted them and they were like, "No, let's go see the Marvels.
Let's go see it again."
A new start.
Sidebar. I'm sorry, I'm distracted, but it just made me think of this. When I was driving to the movie theater today, there was a car in front of me at one point on the highway that had a Montana vanity plate that said R.I.P. Kobe, and I just thought that was odd. It just the fact that it was from Montana and that was
not to take it down this whole side, but did you text? Did you get a response back from the text?
Wasn't
I did.
Todd here when I asked you that question before we recorded?
I don't remember.
Oh, I don't know if I heard. Yeah,
I don't. He probably didn't hear, but yes, I texted them back. I just said, "You left a note on my car," and they replied, "Huh?" with the question mark. So I just stopped talking because, like, if I say something like that and you're like befuddled, then clearly something else.
Clearly Dom was like, "I'm gonna leave," like one of their friends left their friend's number on someone's car.
Wait, why is it me?
That seems like a Dom thing. It seems like
what if he just responded back and he's like, "Hey, this is Herp Derp McSlurp. What's going on?"
I'd be like, "Yo, where you been, boy?"
Did we used to play Overwatch together?
In Fortnite.
Yeah,
he was in Fortnite today.
No, he was. Wait, really? Yeah. Is that where we played with him? Fortnite or Overwatch?
Yeah, no, Dom's friends with him now.
I'm friends with him on Xbox.
Do you play games with them?
No, I haven't played it. I played a couple matches of Overwatch with them, like when you guys weren't playing. But I mean, that was 4 years ago.
Damn. It's always funny when you have like the random people that you play games with for a brief period on Xbox that you meet, and then like they're still in your friends list, and years later I'll be like, I look at my friends list sometimes on there, and I'm like, oh, people I know, and then it's like, here's random person we probably played whatever with, and it's like they're playing either the same game that is, old. Overwatch is a little bit different, or it's like they're playing some fucking shit. I'm like, who's playing this game? You are, apparently. So,
anyway, the Marvels.
So we'll keep it spoiler free. The movie just came out, so we don't want to spoil the film. But I do just kind of want like broad strokes. How did you feel about it, Todd?
I mean, it was all right. I already know everything that happens in the fucking movie. I mean, at this point, so
Todd's a big.
I just like my answer. I just
you didn't see it. You don't have an answer. You didn't see the movie.
No, I don't know what it's gonna take for me to go and actually want to watch Marvel movies anymore. I don't know. I don't care. The last one I watched, I've only seen Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man. I think
you like Guardians, right?
Yeah, and I appreciate Spider-Man more after rewatching it. But I don't think I've watched anything else from this phase.
From this phase, I think that might be wrong. Phase 5.
Quantumania? You did not watch?
Didn't see that. Didn't see Black Panther. Didn't see the Marvels. Didn't see
Quantumania.
Eternals.
Or?
No, I've seen Eternals.
We're in phase 5.
I only watched some of Thor. I only watched some of Thor.
Phase 5 is we're almost at the midpoint of phase 5. So yeah, I guess phase 5. Todd probably hasn't watched anything other than Guardians.
Haven't watched any of the shows. Haven't. Yeah.
I mean, it's only been Secret Invasion.
People are raving about Loki.
It's all right because the Loki finale already got spoiled for me because everyone can't stop talking about it online and making it like the main thing. Like, who's so and so was better, And it's like, oh, cool. Are we doing this already? But
I still
4 days ago.
We can talk about Loki in a second because I actually do want to talk about Loki, also kind of spoiler free. But Mike, the Marvels, you've seen it twice now, so where are you?
Seen twice now. Again, I still think it's perfectly. I say perfectly mid, and I don't mean mid in like the disparaging way. I just mean in the sense that there's a lot of times we would talk about these films, and we can never say like, oh yeah, this is my number one, or this is my. We'll say like, oh yeah, out of all the MCU stuff, top half versus bottom half. Like, yeah, I think this movie was bad. I don't know how bad, but I would say it's in my lower rankings as opposed to my upper ranks. This one like squarely in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think it was great. Yeah, I don't think it was great by any means, but I also think that I enjoyed parts of it. It had its charm. It had its laughs.
The main bad guy's trash. I heard that's like the worst.
They've all been trash.
They really have.
The problem with the villains, I think, in the MCU currently, and this is just a broad thing, is they clearly are working towards Kang, and they seemingly don't care about the use
I think this is
of
an
any of
ongoing
their other
problem
villains for the most part.
MCU, though. Because I feel like I think this is what was like leading into fucking Thanos. I think there was a lot of throwaway villains in the first, like.
I don't want to know if they threw away the villains in the beginning. leading up to Thanos, but they definitely there were definitely probably villains they could have done more with. Like Ultron maybe could have had like.
What do you mean? They brought Yellow Jacket back.
I feel like
It's true.
like villains like Ultron could have maybe they could have lingered for like a couple of movies or something. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have to be like a one and done getting it out.
It's possible that Ultron comes back.
One of them did get away, right? One of them went into the woods, or did Vision kill them?
No, he killed them in the woods.
Ultron, the robot, is not important. Ultron, the
program.
AI
program is.
Yeah. Well, it also, I mean, and I don't mean this in a negative way, because at the end of the day, it's silly nonsense. They can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. But like with their heavy reliance on the multiverse and making it like a very prominent part of the current MCU, like they can use that to do whatever they want, and they can do it in a way where it.
To be fair, in the multiverse, Ultron's already back and has all the Infinity Stones. So.
Yeah. So, but the other portion of that is that like it's so prominently utilized and talked about and referenced in the MCU now, where like if they were to bring things back or bring people back or other things back through that, it shouldn't be a shock to like more mainstream casual viewers. So like they could bring whoever the fuck they want back and do whatever they want, because they've made it very, very clear like anything's possible now.
I know what's gonna get me back. If that rumor that like Secret Wars or whatever the fuck's coming out, the next two Avengers movies, if it's the one that says Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire are leading the Avengers, I'm sold. You got me hook, line, and sinker.
So you're just
only if it's Last Stand Spider-Man.
So
What's that?
Only if it's Last
Stand Spider-Man, the one with the leather jacket.
Oh, okay.
So Todd just wants to play the hits at this point. Todd said, "Give me nostalgia. I can't. I don't want to watch new things.
He
didn't like it in Spider-Man 3, but he likes it now.
I felt like Spider-Man 3, like it was wasted potential, because I feel like they brought those guys in way too late into that movie, and like there wasn't much time to like let those guys marinate and like have like interaction. Like all of a sudden they're like, my person died too. Like you just jumped right to that. Like, you know, like
when you're all the same person, it's kind of easy to kind of slip into that.
No, of course. You know? No, I know. But like, yeah, I just felt like it was, I was kind of disappointed that it happened so late in the movie. But yeah, I mean, whatever.
No, it's fair.
Sucks. Oh, it's fucking trash.
I think I'm kind of with you. Like if I had to throw a number on the Marvels, I was going back and forth in my head of what that would be like out of 10. I think it's probably like somewhere around a 7 for me, which like that's taking the movie for what it is, and not like, you know, trying to rank it up against, because this is like the other problem that it's not a problem. It's just that I think it's hard sometimes to like quantify how you're going to talk about all of these movies and TV shows, because there sort of really isn't anything else that has this much that's supposed to be considered one entity, like in this medium. So
you think?
So like, yeah, there's 30 plus movies. I don't even know how many TV shows now. More than 10, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
So like, you're talking about something that's, you know, nearing 50 entries. You know what I mean? And it's essentially more of like, here's this big thing with episodes. Like these are all just different episodes, and you know, some of them are more heavily for the grand scheme. Some of them are a little bit more divergent. The things that I really liked about this movie is the cast, like the main three, and Kamala's family, and like Samuel Jackson. I think they were all like good energy, good dialogue. I thought this movie was more like the Miss Marvel show, in that I feel like the Miss Marvel show had a nice comic book energy to it, where it was like quippy and fun and quick without being like, I don't know, eye-rolly. And I feel like this movie also kind of had that, where it was like there were a lot of jokes that I did personally laugh at that were just kind of like off dialogue, like not the main joke of the string of words, or not like the main focus of the dialogue that was happening. And I did appreciate those moments. There were a lot of moments that like I did get a chuckle from. I like the actress, I don't know her name, that plays Miss Marvel is fantastic, and I hope they use that character.
Iman Vellani.
Yeah.
Iman Vellani. I hope they utilize her more in upcoming projects because I think she's great. I think that character brings a lot of good energy to the screen. So, I mean, yeah,
I would say, having watched the film, that there is plans to continue.
I think so too, which is great to see. I hope it doesn't, because I know that there was talks at some point of like street level heroes and cosmic heroes and whatever heroes. I hope that if Miss Marvel, whether they should or shouldn't be relegated to like a street level thing in whatever is going on with that character in future stuff, I hope that doesn't just, because I get nervous that like the street level, quote unquote street level heroes will get subjected to like TV Disney Plus shows only, and I hope that's not what they're doing in their mind with that. No,
one of the street level heroes that they continue to talk about is Spider-Man, and he will not be relegated to TV shows.
Yeah, but that's just fucking Spider-Man too. Like they're always going to treat that character differently. Because the Daredevil
friendly neighborhood.
The Daredevil show is the Daredevil thing is a show, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I feel like everything keeps. I feel like it keeps like everything keeps changing.
Yeah.
Like I don't like Blade as a movie.
Oh, was Blade initially not a movie?
I forget.
I think it was, but like then they relegated Blade to like the fourth billing of his own movie, and like
now it's being rewritten again.
Yeah, like it's like a fucking disaster, and like he's so annoyed with it. But getting back to that, as what I was gonna say is, do you think actors are now looking at Marvel and being like, yeah, I don't think I want to be a part of that, like I did like a few years ago, because like, because of, and I'm talking more about on the side of like, with the script issues, with like bringing in someone big, like what's the Moonlight guy's name? Why am I blanking?
Oscar Isaac?
No, Moonlight.
Moonlight. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah,
Moonlight.
bringing someone like a huge guy like that, and the guy's had nothing but a negative experience so far. He's just like voicing frustration over and over again, and like I don't think they're gonna get these people that they want. And like, who knows if these Fantastic Four rumors are true? But hearing that like Adam Driver turned something down, or that Margot Robbie turned something down, like I don't know if this is true or not.
But like you have to also consider, like with at least those two specific actors, like Adam Driver, I feel, as someone, I don't know the guy personally, I have no actual idea, but someone who's been entrenched in Star Wars already, I feel like sometimes those actors don't want to like pigeonhole their career into like just being in that type of blockbuster. Like Adam Driver's a great actor, and Margot Robbie is too, but like, I don't know, Margot Robbie's already so synonymous with the DC universe and has done a handful of those films. So who knows? I mean, I would maybe turn him down too. Plus, she's also, I mean, she just fucking did Barbie. You know what I mean? Like she could do whatever she wants. Like she doesn't need to, like, there are some big actors that would probably like a nice Disney check. Margot Robbie probably has already quite a few nice paychecks. You know what I mean? Which, not saying that money is like the deciding factor for some of those actors, but
I just read an article about the dude from The Bear, the main dude, Jeremy Allen White, and they were like, I guess he went on a Marvel, he went on an interview for a Marvel movie, and he basically asked them, he's like, so why should I take this movie? And they were basically like, get the fuck out of here, kind of thing and everything. And I'm like, dude, that's, I mean, A, it's a great question, and B, like I don't like that mentality that they were just like, yeah, fuck you, like, you know. Dude's passionate about it. Like, fucking tell him why he should take the fucking part. Not just because it's a fucking Marvel movie. And now you lost fucking Jeremy Allen White. Fuck.
Is that a real thing, though? Is that like a thing Jeremy Allen White said?
He said it,
yes.
Yeah. He said it.
And it seemed, when he said it, it seemed like he regretted going into the interview like that. So
Yeah. Because he's fucked himself over, basically.
Yeah. I'm sure he would, if they like came to him again and were like, hey, we're going to give you a second shot at this. Right. Like, you want to try that interview again? Yeah. I'm sure he would do it.
I don't know. I mean, we can't like sit here and pretend to know like we know what's going on in behind the scenes and in those interviews and whoever they're like looking to cast for stuff or whatever. But like pulling it back to the Marvels, I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I still think I kind of probably agree with Mike in the grand scheme of the whole universe of movies and TV shows. It would probably find itself somewhere in the middle for me. It's definitely not in the bottom for me. I know that for sure. I don't know where you're kind of landing with this movie as it stands, Dom. I know you enjoyed it, which I was surprised. I was surprised.
I had fun.
I was happy to hear that you had fun.
It's probably middle of the road.
Yeah.
I didn't hate going to see the movie.
Yeah.
Mike didn't hate it so much that he went to see it a second time.
Back to back, baby.
Second time. I wanted to make sure I was right about how I initially assessed it, and I think I was. It is weird. Not weird. This is probably the first movie I can think of since Disney Plus has come out where it really does kind of hinge. It goes in and it's like, hey, listen, you better already know these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't, we will explain it to you very briefly, and it's going to sound like
very quickly. Yes.
Yeah.
It's going to sound like absolute nonsense.
Yep.
Well, and that was kind of the thing.
I did like that throwaway line that was like, so your powers came from going through a witch hex?
Yeah.
Going through it?
Yeah.
That.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, they clearly need to make sure they don't alienate people who are just not going to watch the shows or not watch everything, and that's got to be their messy way of doing it. But on the flip side, because we're on the side of we've watched all these things, you can appreciate that like throwaway line of, so wait, you walk through a witch hex? You know, like, because for the person who has not watched WandaVision, that line probably doesn't mean anything to them other than like.
I think they mean. Huh?
I was going to make a reference to Brenden having not watched Secret Invasion, but
that's true. Yeah. It's
just ignored it. So.
It's like, yeah, a witch hex. I think they're talking about Scarlet Witch. I don't know what the fuck a witch hex is. What does that even mean? It's great is that when they say witch hex, they mean literally she made a shape in the shape of a hexagon. Like that is the extent of it. It's like my magic was in the shape of a hexagon. There you go.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I thought it was good. I think I also like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel in the first movie and subsequent appearances throughout, and I thought she was really good in this. The actress that plays a hero that we still don't have a name for, right? We don't have an official name for that hero.
I think
Photon.
the character's typically called Photon, but yeah, she did not have a name in this film.
Well, she was also called
Professor Marvel.
Yeah.
No, they referenced.
You talking about
Spectrum. They
I was
also
going to say, I thought it was Spectrum. I
Yeah.
thought it was Spectrum. So
No, they bring up her Spectrum name in the movie. I think the character that she's like playing is Photon.
Okay. So I thought they were all great. I mean, if you like cats, a lot of cats in this movie. I was a big fan of cats.
There's no cats in the movie.
If you like Flurkins, a lot of Flurkins in the movie.
There you go.
So
yeah, I mean, it was definitely the best movie since Guardians, the best MCU movie.
When you're right, you're right. When you're right.
So, kind of temperature check on the MCU. Looking at it as we stand, we're about almost halfway through Phase 5, which I feel like even the phase numbers like mean nothing to me anymore. I feel like they were very easily defined back in the Infinity Saga, and now it's like I had to look up to see what phase we were in currently and what things are included in this phase, and I just think it doesn't necessarily matter, because if you look at how Phase 4 ended, Phase 4 ends with technically the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and then before that it's Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So like I wouldn't say that so Phase 4 is WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Loki Season 1, What If, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Hawkeye, No Way Home, Moon Knight, Multiverse of Madness, Miss Marvel, Thor 4, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, Wakanda Forever, Guardians Holiday Special. I don't think that that phase ended with anything. Like it didn't like. I don't think it
didn't culminate in anything.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like it's just we're gonna group this number of things together and call it a phase, because sure, did it like establish the multiverse, I guess?
Yeah, I guess with the Multiverse of Madness.
And No Way Home.
So
Did
I
you
guess, say What If? I wasn't really paying attention.
What If is in there as well. So I guess like that's and Loki sort of too, maybe?
Yeah, I guess a little
So
bit.
sure, I guess that phase was about that, and now Phase 5 is also just kind of about that.
Loki's, I guess, there was branches. So.
I feel like
I was gonna say Loki season 1 was mostly time and not really.
I feel like Thanos was like always like this impending doom and like never felt like a failure. Where I feel like Kang, for a lot of people don't know Kang probably like they know Thanos, and I feel like he's failed every single fucking thing he's been. So like he doesn't seem like fucking scary or like.
Well, so there's
guy
different things at play here though. Like from an audience perspective, like Thanos was always looming in mostly post-credit scenes, but I would still argue that like there were probably a lot of moviegoers that didn't really know what that aspect of teases was supposed to be. I think, right?
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't a major plot beat until when did the stones even start working their way into Guardians? Is that the first stone like in the movie, or
they start actually talking about the
Tesseract?
stones?
Oh no, it was
Tesseract
was before. Yeah, the Tesseract.
Yeah. So wait,
The Tesseract
Age
was
of Ultron.
until
Yeah, Age of Ultron's when they figured out that the stones were something important. And I know after Thor 2 was when the Asgardians bring the ether, which was the reality stone, to the Collector. And he's like, "Oh, I got a couple more to go," or something. But he said it in like a Benicio del Toro kind of way.
Yeah.
So somewhere around that part is when we start figuring out, okay, the stones are what's important here.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily have anything too concrete of like we know it is Kang, and to kind of circle back to Todd's thing, according to the director of Loki season 2, we have not seen the true Kang yet, like the main timeline's Kang. So all of the other Kangs that have been in there, the one in Quantumania, the other ones that have been in Loki, is that it for now? Just those two places?
Pretty much.
Have just been variants, which, do you know what? Loki's doing a lot of Loki season 1 and 2 are doing a lot of the heavy lifting for what this buildup is supposed to be, and
isn't that what you just said couldn't happen?
What? A TV show?
TV shows movies being reliant on TV shows.
Well, no, I think that I think that they are going to maybe find out that, or maybe they're already aware that like the TV shows are not the same viewership as the movies, like not the same core audience maybe. And I don't necessarily know how you recap Loki in a quippy way that you do in like, you know, how these other two heroes exist in this movie currently. Maybe Quantumania was supposed to be part of that introduction, but the movie didn't do great, so I don't know how many people are gonna, you know, someone doing a recap video on YouTube is gonna get all the fucking traffic for this, not the movie or TV shows.
Quantumania didn't really tell us anything about Kang besides that he can be defeated by ants.
I guess that's true too. To
be fair, they were very smart ants.
Very smart.
Very smart ants.
So I think there's a lot of kind of what ifs, I pun intended, I guess. Not really, but sure. About like how this is going to play out, and looking at how Phase 5, unless things change, are supposed to play out from this point forward. What if Season 2, which again, I have to imagine that's not a same audience as like the main audience of the MCU, because it's animated and it's a Disney Plus show. So like I think the animation part of it will also work against it, as far as like broader viewership. Echo, which I thought that got delayed even further. I thought that had like a no timeline situation.
No, it's coming out on my birthday.
Yeah, we have a trailer and have a date.
Why did I think?
Did I not send the trailer?
You might have. I might have been thinking of something different. That. Oh, you did send it. Yeah. No, I watched the trailer. I'm thinking of something else then. Deadpool 3, which I kind of think, and I think we've all kind of said this in some way. I think kind of the future of the MCU in the short term kind of hinges on Deadpool 3 like not only, you know, bringing people back and getting people excited, maybe that have not been paying attention or watching movies and shows from the MCU, but also I feel like maybe they're going to use the plot of that film to bring some stuff in, tie some stuff together. I mean, spoilers aside for the Marvels, I mean, the end of that movie does, like, the things that take place in that movie outside of the movie's main plot do tie in some broader MCU things. But I still think we're really just kind of breadcrumbing it at this point. Like, we know what's out there and we're still not dealing with it in some ways.
I think they're trying to get the adults back right now too. I think that seems like what they're doing now. Blade's going back to being R-rated. They're doing like fucking Echo, like it's like a fucking classic Daredevil Netflix series. They're fucking like kind of what people were bitching about. It seems like they're starting to listen to those people and being like, all right, we're gonna start doing this shit now. We're gonna have these R-rated. Deadpool's gonna be R-rated.
They
Blade's
definitely
gonna be
have to
R-rated.
shake something up because
Yeah.
between what I think is, and I don't think I personally have like superhero fatigue, I just do think they are maybe trying to not only do too many things at once, but they're doing way more things than they did, you know, in the Infinity Saga. We're getting much more content, and I think we're getting a slower drip feed of main arc progression. Does that make sense? Like we're essentially getting almost double the content per phase, but the main arc plot that is being pushed through that sized content is slower than what we were getting before in 5 movies or whatever per phase.
No.
The only thing that's going to save this is they need to get Nolan, Scorsese, Tarantino,
Yeah, that's what they
fucking
gotta do.
Real
Fincher.
time.
They need those guys to come in and save the day.
So after Deadpool, we get Agatha Darkhold Diaries, then Daredevil Born Again, Captain America New World Order, and finishing on Ironheart. Which
I wouldn't be surprised if they bail on Ironheart and Agatha at this point. I don't feel like the excitement's there behind either of those things. I wouldn't be surprised for them to totally bail on both of those.
I think it's too late in
I
Agatha.
think so. Yeah, maybe.
They're,
think
I don't know.
Ironheart's-
They're doing something with Agatha that I'm still not sure what's happening because they've already changed the title of that show 4 times,
yeah.
and I'm not sure if it's on purpose or if they just like don't know what they're doing with
Listen, Aubrey Plaza's
They're
in
just,
that
like,
show.
fucking
Do
with
not
us.
axe that show.
Yeah,
Give me
right.
that
I
show.
know.
I don't care.
The Marvel's
what it is.
making as little money as it's making is going to be like they're definitely going to get rid of some shit, even if they had it planned. I guarantee. Like,
Well, they already pushed everything back, so
Yeah.
that's probably like already
I
like
mean,
a precaution.
Mike and I were also talking earlier today. Like,
Like I think Deadpool is the only movie next year, right? Did you just say that?
I don't have
I think
dates.
everything
I
else
don't
is
have
listed.
dates next to this. But is Captain America
Mike?
not a movie?
It is a movie that doesn't come out until 2025.
So then, yeah, I guess Deadpool is the only movie.
Mike, what were we gonna say?
I don't remember anymore.
It should just be Deadpool for movies, and I think What
Everything
If
else is a
and
show.
What
Yeah,
If
everything else.
and Echo for a show. I think is all that comes out next year.
Maybe. I know Echo's in January. What If is somewhere.
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
spring.
remember.
They can just drop that also. Oh, I guess probably 97 is probably ready to
Ready
print
to
at some
go.
point. They gave us a bunch of merchandise for that already, so
they're just going to get rid of They're going to get rid of Feige at this point. Guy's a bum. Get him out of there.
he's going to Star Wars. That's what I hear.
Wait, is that a serious thing?
He's not-
That's a-
He
that
was
is
he's
a
not
rumor that I heard
anymore.
last week.
He's not anymore. I think I saw an article saying like, "Hey,
Yeah,
he's not doing
Not
Star Wars
happening.
anymore."
He like said
Oh,
it wasn't
really?
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know if one thing or one person is the problem. I just think they do need to like sort of reevaluate what they have been doing the last 2 phases.
They need to bring in Zack Snyder to fucking Snyder up the place and
yeah,
fucking
that's what we
get
need.
it going.
We need a 4-hour movie.
Did you watch the latest trailer for Rebel Moon that came
No.
out like today?
No.
I'll send it to you guys later.
The world doesn't need heroes; it needs rebels.
I think the Marvels
I just saw that as the tagline.
Had a few things kind of working against it. I think, obviously the strike doesn't help like promoting the movie, withheld those actresses and actors from being able to, do stuff for that, which maybe doesn't impact it greatly, but I think it probably does a little bit.
Definitely hurt, but there was a lot of bad buzz coming out before the strikes even happened with this movie. But I definitely think it did hurt it.
I guess part of my thing is like the internet seems that like everyone hated the film. And the amount of money that this film has made so far, there's no way all those people saw this movie.
No.
So like,
well, I mean, that's the other thing too that Mike and I were talking about earlier is like a lot of people on the internet don't like Brie Larson for, whatever reasons. I can also without even having to look into it, I'm sure a lot of people want to shit on this movie because it's Brie Larson, because it's, a female-led cast, a female-directed movie. Like, those people exist, and that shit is definitely happening. I mean, that's also a reality. But the ticket sales are really what speaks to it. Like, if you look at the Rotten Tomato score, which is currently Tomato Meter, so the review score is 62, audience score 84. So, like, I don't know, that can be padded too, I'm sure, with audience score. Do you have to, like, prove you saw the movie somehow? Is there, like, even a way to fucking do that?
Yeah, I feel they did do something in the wake
Just
of Captain Marvel.
Just for the Tomato Meter, right? Oh no! Okay.
So
you
under
might have to have some
under the audience score, it says 1,000 plus verified ratings. I don't know what that means, and I don't feel like clicking on it to find out. So maybe there's a way to like scan your movie ticket or something to like prove you saw it or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I have no idea what the mechanics are, but I think that in response to review bombing, they did make some sort of change to how reviews are submitted. I don't know if it's like audiences can't submit scores until after the movie's actually released or whatever, but this was a thing that happened.
Yeah. They did something for the
Little Mermaid, maybe?
The Tomato Meter too, right? Where like they found out that people were being paid to submit positive reviews.
Yeah, something
that
else
was like recently. Yeah,
that was very
recently. Like both sides were being manipulated, and I think they worked on both.
Jen and I got some slices of pie earlier, and she's texted me, Timothy Chalamet messed up our pies. We're missing one. The kid working looked like Timothy Chalamet.
No, I gathered as much. I think that was pretty straightforward. But
yeah, I mean, all that stuff aside, like the ticket sales are not great. I hope it, for the sake of the actresses involved and the director, I hope it has a healthier swing throughout the weekend because I did enjoy it, and I don't think it's that bad.
And in fairness to it, maybe sort of too, like it was still number one this weekend. It's just that
Five Nights at Freddy's it beat it out in its third week.
Wait, did it really?
Well, Todd's incorrect. Todd is 100% incorrect because I know I read it.
That was number 2 with only 9 million. But the fact that movie's doing what it's doing is insane.
So I was like, that Five Nights at Freddy's.
You can watch it for free. You literally can fucking watch it.
That is honestly the craziest part.
You can watch
it
for
this money.
Free?
If you have Peacock,
Freddy's is on Peacock. Yeah.
Dude, it made 130 million its opening weekend being
which
on
either
Peacock,
means
and people went to the movies and fucking saw it. It's insane.
I mean, in fairness, it could either mean that the Five Nights at Freddy's fans are like fucking running to the theater, or no one really has Peacock. Like it really could go either way.
It was $25 million budget, and it's at like $230 right now, too. $240.
Pay for a month with your $20 that it would take to go to the movies.
Right, and obviously the kids loved it. Fucking
maybe throwing out there, maybe Five Nights at Freddy fans aren't smart enough to think about doing that.
To be fair, at some point we'll have friend of the show Matthew Lillard on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to dive too off topic, but like the animatronics in that, and like the costumes.
Wait, is it practical effects?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's like legit. It's pretty cool. Well, like there's like a scene where like a
3 or 4 of them.
I think so. Yeah. Yes, there was one but there's a scene where like a
Foxy can't be.
No, I think Foxy might. I can't remember. But the cupcake.
The one that doesn't have the one that doesn't have a bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
Is not practical.
But there's like a little scene with like a fan. You see it in the background. They're just talking, and all of a sudden you see like the animatronic suit walk by like really quick, and like if you turn, you're like, and it looked really cool. Like it was well done. But it's like the lightest PG-13 movie I've ever seen in my life. It should be PG. when there's blood, there's like a little scrape with like a teeny bit of blood on like like it's like very mild on everything, like as far as violence and everything. Everything happens off screen.
All right, we're gonna do a series playthrough as a group. Let's all get here. We'll get drunk and we'll just
Yeah,
play through together.
I bought them.
All right, let's do it. We'll fucking.
That game scares the shit out of me sometimes when fucking Freddy pops in there really quick. If you fucking.
I'm good with that. That's what they need. They got to bring Freddy into the MCU. Yeah, I don't know. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it for what it was. I had a good time with it. It's kind of where we're at. I think the MCU needs some sort of shakeup. That's kind of where I'm at.
Did you guys see what I meant by me saying it had like a Guardians feel to it?
Yeah, I guess.
I got that vibe from the trailer. Like there was like, it seemed like kind of Guardians.
Like with how the characters interact.
With how the characters interact. I mean, that planet where the planet with the prince on it was very Guardians.
Yeah. No, it did some fun things.
There was a lot of like Guardians elements.
Yeah, I had a good time with it.
Even the fucking villain.
Yeah.
Was the villain from Guardians.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
By that.
Like, of all, like, I don't want to say I'm like an MCU apologist. but I'm definitely higher and enjoy for the ride for what it is for the most part, more than maybe you guys do in a lot of ways, at least currently. But
I've at least seen Secret Invasion.
True.
It's the one.
And I saw the Marvels twice. What can you say?
Well, then there we go. The real fans stand up. If there was any movie recently in the MCU that really just feels like it's a fucking cog in the machine to get from point A to point B in the grander thing, I feel like that's what probably hurts this movie the most, is that like the villain is really kind of just nothing. And it's really just, this movie to me felt mostly like a way for them to introduce two other heroes that were previously only in Disney Plus shows and introduce what will be probably two different, maybe three different larger plot points in the grander MCU going forward.
I thought this movie was better about that than Quantumania and Love and Thunder.
I don't even
I don't as being a standalone like story.
As being like just a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, like Christian Bale as fucking Gore is fucking awesome.
It's
like
so
when
good.
he's on screen.
It's so good when he's on screen.
Which is 3 minutes.
Nothing. Yeah, it's not great.
The rest of the film is like,
they did the cardinal sin in that movie
a waste
too.
of my time.
They did the cardinal sin in that movie. They brought kids in and fucking gave kids fucking power. They did what I hated about Iron Man 3. They fucking threw a kid in there and fucking made it like this goofy little thing. And
no, Thor: Love and Thunder's biggest problem was it found itself quickly being Borderlands and stayed there for way too long. Like, it was like, I can take some of the, like, I don't even know if it's slapstick. Like, I can take some of the silly humor for, like, pockets, but I feel like that movie maybe did it a little way too much.
The whole movie was very silly with, on the, like, the edges, like, sprinkled in was Gore the Godslayer. It's like, this man's
sprinkled in was like a little bit of plot.
Yeah.
you got the goats. You had the screaming goats.
Screaming goats.
Yeah.
And then Quantumania, which is just like,
it certainly was.
I don't know if there's a redeeming quality from Quantumania.
Paul Rudd.
No, what's his name's butt?
I don't even know if I don't even
MODOK's butt.
Yeah, the CGI is the
MODOK cheeks. Yo,
MODOK
is cheeked up.
I don't know if there's a redeeming quality from Quantumania. Like, I don't know if I watched that movie and was like, the one good thing I can take out of that movie is
Anthony.
Anthony died in the first movie, didn't he?
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, he's back.
There was an ant named
Anthony.
Someone had an ant.
Yeah, there was another named ant. Yeah, it was like Antoine. I think it might have been Antoine.
Antoine may have been there.
I don't know. It's
But yeah,
it's fine.
I don't think anything good came out of Quantum.
The best part of that movie was the beginning when he's skipping down the street, and the best
Yeah.
part of that movie was the end when he's skipping down the street.
That's right. Yeah, the best part of the movie was says, "Thank you, Spider-Man."
It's a pretty
Yes,
good part.
there we
It's a pretty
go.
good
Ruben
part.
Rabassa. Ruben Rabassa is the best part of that movie. That's the one thing I could take away from that movie and be like, "Yep, that's it." He needs to come
No,
back.
Wong's great in that movie too, right? Does Wong show up at the end? Is that what's happening? Is the post-credit scene? Doesn't Wong show up at their dinner or something? I know
think
that
you're
also.
thinking about Shang-Chi.
No, I know that also happens in
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, but doesn't Ant-Man end that way?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe I'm just thinking about Shang-Chi. I thought he showed up. Maybe not. I don't fucking know. It introduces the quantum realm, which they do reference the quantum realm in the Marvels. I don't know why. I don't see them using that. I don't think the quantum realm is going to have anything to do with the multiverse, really.
Well, of course, because in the multiverses they have their own quantum realms, and stuff happens.
The quantum realm apparently is adjacent to the other realms. We learned that in Loki.
Yeah, whatever.
I will say briefly.
I don't know how the other realms work.
Yeah, we do have to wrap
they did.
things up.
But they did say that it was adjacent to the other.
Yeah,
because we're running long. But Todd, I will say you should probably watch Loki season 2 because it has some whatever moments, but I do think that it has, for MCU standards, just some of the best, just like scene composition and cinematography. Like it had
the
very.
First season was for me. The first season was like the best thing that came out of all these shows for me.
Like very not action heavy, which I appreciated. A lot of like close up face dialogue acting, which I'm like cool. Like I think Tom Hiddleston's a good actor. The actress that plays Sylvie, I think, is a good actor. Owen Wilson is really fucking good in this show. Like I like there's a lot more focus on acting in the show, which I really appreciated. Just interesting camera angles and like the way the camera pans and stuff. Jonathan Majors is really good in the show. For whoever, whatever he is outside of the show, he's very good on the show. It does some interesting things. I think it does end in a interesting way. I'm curious. Mike and I were talking about that the other night too, after we watched the Marvels, just kind of what does that mean for the MCU and sort of what does that mean for Loki's character going forward. But
he's tying it all together.
But I don't want to. We don't need to go down a spoiler thing of that. But I think it's like
I left it the way I did on purpose.
I think it's I just think it's like a very interesting, not typical MCU thing that I enjoyed, and it's probably the best, even though it does kind of tie itself together to the grander picture. I think it's probably the best example of them doing something that at least right now up front is kind of removed from the MCU as a whole and is like just the best version of that, of like we're going to just tell this other story, and yeah, sure, it'll probably tie in down the line, but that's not the focus necessarily of the show. Maybe season 2 a little bit more than season 1. I guess they kind of both end the same way, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good show. A little messy and plot wise in the middle, I think, but overall, I think it's a good show. The effects of like the timelines being destroyed when they're in them, I liked, like the ribboning effects and stuff.
Churn spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did think it was interesting that they reused the spaghetti effect.
Mm-hmm. Ouroboros is really good too. Like, really good. I enjoyed him. The whole cast is. Mike and I were saying like B-15 is also really good, but also kind of doesn't maybe go anywhere
in a lot of the second season.
Yeah, and same thing with the other actor that assists Ouroboros later on in the show. I forget what the character's name is. Casey. Yeah. So it's like a good little ensemble. Renslayer's good too for what you get of Renslayer. Anyways, before we wrap things up and go into the game, thank you all so much for listening to this week's episode 393 of the Past Control podcast. We're close to 100. That means we'll hit 100. 400, 7 left? Do we hit 400 this year? Are there 7 weeks left? Maybe. Should be close.
I don't know.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode 393. Of course, if you are a fan of the show, friend of the show, want to help support the show, the best way to do that, the easiest way, freest way to do that is to take a quick moment, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show. It's super beneficial, and it really helps go a long way in us growing the show. So we'd appreciate it if you took a quick minute to do that. If you're an audio-only listener, just a quick friendly reminder that we do stream the show live every time we record on twitch.tv/passcontroller. If you can't make the live show, we also put those archived up on our YouTube channel so you can catch us in video format over there. If you're, a video listener or watch us live on stream, just a friendly reminder, you can also listen to us on the podcast feed of your choice, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can go to pastcontroller.io to see all the stuff that we do, whether it's written articles or cocktail videos or whatever else it may be. We do a lot of fun and interesting things outside of the show, so go and check those things out. If you get money, there's ways to give us money. Patreon.com/pastcontroller, pastcontroller.threadless.com, twitch.tv/pastcontroller. Subscribe to us over there. But without further ado, we're getting down to the wire. We're closing in on the end of the year. And as we do every year, we keep a tally of the leaderboard for those getting points on the end of show games. Currently, as the board stands, Dom is in first with 46, Todd is in second with 41, and Mike is in third with 36. Mike has been slowly gaining ground, and Todd's been slowly losing some ground to Dom. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this year shakes out. And tonight, we're going to play a new game. A game that I like to call Rated P for Points. How this game works, I'm going to give you the title of a game. You're going to give me what you think the Metacritic score, review score for that game is. Whoever gets it the closest, you can go over. It's whoever is simply the closest will get a point.
This sounds like it relies on you doing math, and that's not really your strong suit.
That's all right. Does Metacritic have user and critic? I can't remember.
No, I don't fucking know. I never use the site.
It does have user, I believe. But it's fucked with pretty drastically, I think.
Well, that doesn't essentially matter for us with how this is going to work out. So, it looks like for the critic score, it's a number, and for the user score, it is a out of 10 score. So, this is what we're going to do. There are 2 points on the line per game. Whoever gets closest for critic and closest for user will get points. Game number 1. Midnight Suns. Mike, what do you think this got for a critic score?
I'm sorry. So you said basically both are numbers, I think.
So the critic score is a 1 out of 100 number, and the user score is a 1 out of 10.
10.
With a decimal point.
Okay. So I'm going to say critic 79.
Okay.
And I'll say user 5.2.
Okay. Dom, where you at?
74 and 6.5.
Okay. Todd, take us home.
81 and 7.8.
Well,
Say 7.8.
Yeah.
Todd will get the point for critic score, which was an 83. Todd's at 81. But Dom will get the point for user score. It was a 6.7, and Dom's at 6.5. So
Interesting. I thought people really liked that game.
So that's a 47% 47 for Dom and a 42 for Todd. All right. Game number 2. I didn't have all these tabs open because I didn't want a million tabs open. We are going to go with the theme here of superhero games. Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Dom.
Uh, 88.7.
80 and an 8.7. Todd.
Fuck, where was I going with my overall? What did Dom said? 80.
Dom said 80. You can guess the same numbers. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're both
no,
at the
that's fine.
same, then you get the points.
I'm gonna say 76 for critic, and I'm going to say 6.6 for user.
Okay. Mike, take us home.
I'm gonna say 91 and
Todd's face.
8 points. I don't remember how that game. I don't even remember. I think I own that game. I think I haven't played it at all, and I'm still gonna give it a high score.
All the time.
What did I say just now? 90 something.
You
It doesn't
said
matter.
91.
And-
You could change it.
Oh,
Nah, I'll leave it. I don't care. 8.8.
All right. So that will give Todd a point for critic. It was a 73. He said 76. And that'll give... Oh, God, I have to do math with these decimal points. To Todd as well. His 7.2.
Oh.
And Todd said 6.6. Right? That's right. Dom said 8.7. So that bumps Todd up to 44.
Midnight Suns isn't doing high. I just not expect that game to be high.
Final game on the mix of superhero games. What was the third one I was going to do?
I think it was Superman 64.
20 and...
No,
1.3.
No, there was a specific one I wanted to do. There it is.
Oh, it was Marvel's Avengers by Square Enix.
No, I wanted to do something a little maybe harder to pin down. We are going to end here on Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, which is the Vita exclusive, I believe.
Oh, so I'm going to say not available for either one because no one played it.
Todd gets to go first on this one.
I'm gonna go. Was that the side-scrolling one?
I didn't play
I
this
think
game.
so.
Nobody played it. Todd, Mike just said.
I bought it. Oh no, I got it for free. I think at some point. But, I'm gonna go with a 70 for critic, and I'm gonna go for what's the matter?
I'm just laughing because I looked up and latest user reviews November 1st, 2023.
Oh wow, okay.
0. Very bad game. I haven't played it, but it doesn't have killer moths, so don't buy it.
Valid.
And for user, I'm gonna say 6.2.
Okay.
What did I say? 7 and 6.2?
70 and 6.2.
Okay.
Mike.
Could this be the first game that has the same critic and audience score of less than 10? Can I say 6 for both? I might actually do 6 for both. Well, actually, I might do like a. I might do like a
game.
I might do like a 4 point. I'm gonna say 4.2 for audience, and then for critic, let's give it a quick 30.
Jesus, Mike. Dumb. Take us home on this one.
All right. What did Todd say?
Todd said 76.2. Mike said 34.2.
I feel like I'm like.
All right. So I'm going 50.
Oh, he's splitting the difference, you piece of shit.
You said 4.2, right, Mike?
Yeah.
And Todd said 7 point something?
6.2.
It's 70. 6.2.
6.2.
What did Mike say?
Oh, he's doing numbers. Oh, you fucker.
I'll do a 5.2.
You piece of shit.
Well, I hate to say that Todd just got
Todd got
2
it.
points. It is a 61 and a 6.7, and Todd said 70.
Did I get that by 1
6.2.
point for the first one?
No, because
Yeah.
Dom said 50.
Yeah.
And I said 70.
That's
so-
11.
Yeah.
And he said 9.
Yep.
Yeah, so Todd gets bumped
So
up
if
to
it-
a 46. Wow. So that puts Todd in a 1 point contention.
Striking
there.
distance.
So how do we feel about rated P for points? Is this
I like that.
is this
It's
a
not bad.
return at some point game?
It's
Yeah,
not
Todd
bad.
likes it because he just
Oh,
scooped
yeah.
up like fucking 8 points tonight.
It's quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
It is quick.
It,
It is
it
quick.
can bump the numbers, and it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. Well, that'll do it for this week's episode 393. We appreciate you. Stay good, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.